but we're
If I
live.
Oh, let's not say that out loud then. Hi!
Wait. What?
Yeah,
We are.
let's silence that.
My music's really loud though, so let me just.
I'll take your word for that.
Thank you.
Let me do this.
I'm not.
You get to do the intro this time as well.
Oh,
Because you broke last time when I did it.
it's not that I broke. No, well, you broke me. There's that.
What's your Twitter handle? Because whenever I type it in, it doesn't come up.
It's a very good question.
It is. I know. That's why I asked it. Hello, everyone.
hello.
We're professionals.
So professional.
Noah's professional. I'm
I've just
I'm
blinded
just me.
myself. At _the_lines.
Okay.
Ugh.
At in.
Hello, Sue. How you doing? How's life?
Done.
Don't know.
It just does not like finding you when I type. There we go. There we are. Hey, Sue. How are you doing? How is the Krampus book? Was it Krampus? I think it was Krampus. It's definitely part of a series. I remember that. Noah's looking forward to reading it for Spicy September.
No.
So it's been added to his list.
Lies.
And videotapes. Has the videotape disappeared yet from work? By the way?
No. Yeah, I think it's been put into the canteen.
Someone could have watched it to see what's actually on it.
We googled what it was. It's history.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
wait, you're right. Wait, Sue, you're actually reading a spicy book.
Yeah, I wasn't making it up.
I thought you were.
No. Why do you when I'm being honest, why do you assume I'm lying? And when I'm being less than honest, why do you assume I'm telling the truth?
Who knows?
Which, I need to be clear, I don't tell lies. But add them to my list. I thought I did. Well, yeah, I didn't. I'll have to look those up. How's it going? Is it fun? It sounded like it was going to be a rip-roaring time, depending on how you choose to take that sentence. But, so this is a random chat. Going over Don't Die July, which Noah decided to challenge himself in real life with this. In many ways. Which, yeah, we had very different months.
We did.
In many ways.
Other
than the obvious. Other than arson.
No, I didn't do the arson. My freezer did the arson.
I am shocked I wasn't accused, to be fair.
No, same.
Oh, as well, while it's in my head. I've been told to do that by Jenny. Private message. So I have performed my obligations. Yeah. How? I know you hit a bit of a reading slump.
Yes, for reasons.
Yes. But overall, compared to last Don't Die July, how was it?
It was, considering.
I think you read more this time.
I did read more this time.
Which, to be fair, was a low bar. But
yeah,
last year you also had a bit of a dip, although far worse. So.
Yes.
So, yes. You need to stop taking this month quite literally, actually, to be fair.
I really, really do. Most
people are happier in summertime and have a better time.
You know what it is? I don't do well with heat. In general.
We're English.
Yeah.
No one who's English does well. I'm so happy it's rained.
Same.
Like, proper rain, and it's grim and miserable.
It's still hot. It's muggy.
Thing.
It's so muggy.
Is it muggy outside?
Yeah, it's muggy outside.
Oh, well, never mind. But, how many books did you read?
That's a very good question.
Because we prepped for this, so Noah is completely prepared. We prepped 3 minutes ago.
Yep.
So
I've only read 3 books this month.
okay. And you started it as well, so we could talk about that. You didn't get too far into it. But I know
No,
you
I've not
started it.
finished it. I'm still gonna read it, but I'm struggling with it.
Yes. I have not started it. I did read a Stephen King though. Well, listen to a Stephen King,
Yeah.
which I'm nervous to read more Stephen King. I know it's not a good example of a book to have picked up.
You know
I'm
what it
aware of
is?
that.
I think certain books, when they were written, I don't think the way that they've been written has aged as well as I thought they would have.
It's not a particularly old King book though, I don't think.
His new book that I started reading, Fairy Tale.
Yeah.
So far, what I've read in that, really, really good. Enjoying it. But it is like a whole different person altogether.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's 1981. Not 1981. That's nonsense. 2011. I don't know where 1981 came from. Is when it came out. So it's not an ancient book by any stretch of the imagination. You know, it's only older than one of my children.
yeah.
That's a scary thing to say out loud.
Yeah.
Ugh. But,
Should I have a light on?
Should you have a light on? I don't know. Do you want to put a light on? Last time you put a light on, it
The beacon has been lit.
it left you with a ghostly visage.
Yeah. Visage.
Yes.
It did. It still is.
But 3 books. So what were your books then?
So the ones that I did read is All the Dead Lie Down, which is a gothic horror, and it was Dead Silence, and
Which Sue was also read.
Ghost Station.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2 by Barnes.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna kill that dog.
You're not going to kill
I'm
him.
gonna kill him.
It's not winter. You don't need a coat.
Okay.
So we've obviously talked. We've already spoke. Tequila is a bad thing. We've already spoken about not Ghost Station, the other one, Dead Silence.
Yes, we have.
And I think we sort of came to an agreement on it, kind of, on opinions. Hello, Cat. We were just talking about you.
We were. I do love that dog, but when he barks for no reason,
I'll be
me.
honest. When you said I'm going after the dog, I did think this was our Stephen King moment because he doesn't like animals.
Does he not?
Well, not in his books. It's something that Kat has mentioned in her video today, actually.
Oh, I've not seen the video. I've literally been MIA for the past...
That's because you've been unconscious.
5 hours?
After having to deal with me for 6 hours this morning.
No, you were fine.
I wasn't.
It was an experience. Hey, Eno. How you doing?
Hey, at the same time. So, we won't go over Ghost Station. I still think it was aggressively mediocre.
No, that's Dead Silence. Ghost Station was different.
Same difference. I've not read the other one.
Ghost Station's good.
I'll take your word for it. I'm in no rush to read it or listen to it because it's a different audio narrator as well. Dead Silence, I thought, was bang average. Like the more I think about it, it lacked personality, which is where my issue comes with it. But it was competently written, so I'm going to leave it there. I do still really like the narration of Lauren Ezzo, though, and I am looking for more of her books to listen to. I know I have already got another one on my Audible anyway.
Okay.
Which is a follow-up to Smoke and Summons, because she's one of the co-narrators for that anyway. So she does the whole series. So I don't know when I'm getting to that.
Okay.
But how... I know, right?
He
knows
is
a little bit. I'm not evil, though.
Did you know I was gonna? I didn't even finish the word.
I don't need to. You've been calling me evil all day, mainly while you've had your head on the metal plate in front of you on the till, slowly but surely dying inside because of comments I've been making all day.
Yeah.
But it's true. Fine, because you were a very good boy in work today, so it's okay.
Thank you.
But obviously you read Ghost Station.
Yep.
Not set in the same universe?
No, doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
But same sort of sci-fi sort of thing.
How did it improve?
In every way.
A follow-on.
You actually got time to learn about the characters, the personalities of the characters, how they interact, and their relationships between each other was brilliant. The atmosphere builds up really fast and really well, and everything that it kind of hints at and leads to is just a work of art. It's like French kiss this book if I could.
Please don't.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's put the alphabet in my head, but thank you for that. You broke yourself then.
I
just
did.
Need to point this out. This wasn't me. Before I get blamed, like I normally do. Yeah, I'm probably never going to read Girl Station.
Sad, because I think
I don't think
you should.
I am going to read Paradise 1 though, that you recommended.
Please do. I need someone else to read it.
Actually, you know what? Shall we just speak a little bit about horror books in general?
Yeah, let's do it.
Otherwise, I'll take over the entire video with my reads for the month, because I have a lot.
You have read a lot.
15. I did in July. Although, to be fair, you had all those 15 books together, and you just have it.
Yeah, that's true.
Realistically, which is just a stupidly big book. Which fetches Cat into the chat.
Yes, Cat.
You need to provide some encouragement to Noah.
Because I'm struggling with it.
So
literally.
I've obviously already commented on the video earlier, but yeah, Noah's. I think I might skip it for the time being and go to Pet Sematary when I hit my next one. Because that's the one I'm most excited about. Of all King's books, that's the one I've always wanted to read.
Oh, okay.
I've also been told it's going to be a rough read for me.
Yeah.
By a few people, so that's going to be interesting.
Why did you put yourself through it?
I mean, I tried reading The Clown Hunt.
Okay, point.
So, I think you should read The Clown Hunt. Actually. Simply because, right, bear with me, because you're afraid of clowns.
I am absolutely terrified of clowns, but I just need to let Kat know. Like, I'm getting my youngest nephew into, like, role-playing and D&D and stuff, and he's really excited. He's making his own character, and he looks me dead in the eyes, and he goes, my character's going to be a clown, and it's going to be called Giggles. Why? Why would you do this to me?
I mean,
when he has a shield, when it blocks, he goes, oh! That's terrifying.
We need Sarah Milliken to come on and do the noise.
I do. She... lovely person, her.
She is. I wouldn't mind seeing her live, actually.
Same.
But, right. Let's disappear that. I've got more than one tab open, and it's confusing me. Also, if anybody wants to see Noah create a D&D character on a live this month, for his adventure game book month,
no,
let us know, because I want to know how Noah builds characters.
Terribly.
So, or how Noah builds settings.
I just do it.
I just write things
I just write things down, and then I'm like, got a good feeling about that.
And then what happens?
Everyone dies because of you.
No. I didn't kill everyone.
You killed a whole city.
No. There was a magic barrier. The central part of the city was fine.
Clowns are not cool.
I used to have, when I was a kid, my dad used to, for my birthday parties, you know, when I had friends, I used to have clowns come round for the birthday parties. Yeah. They did, like, the magic tricks and stuff, you know, like the fake chopping of fingers off and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, things that kids like to watch, apparently. But, no, I think you should read The Clown Hunt, right? So, I know I DNF'd it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't DNF it because it's bad.
No, because of a certain...
There is a scene in it which is quite well known.
The wishbone scene?
Yes, the wishbone death scene, which I'm not going into detail here. All I'm going to say is, you're warned about this scene by an author earlier on. in the preface of the book, and I still read on, and when I got to that scene, it's like, oh no. But you like your body horror more than I do.
Yeah, I do.
You like your splatterpunk a lot more than I do, and for some reason, you do like Judith Sonnet books.
They're bizarre.
You gave. What did you give that book?
Which book? Which book?
Splattersaurus. What did you give it?
A 4-star.
Right. Why?
Because it was funny. I actually enjoyed it just because it was so mentally weird.
You really should have read the follow-up this month, you know.
I really should have. I might do that at some point as like a little
Halloween.
read-along. Halloween, yeah.
Halloween.
The second book.
Thank
you, Kat. I agree.
Now, I agree to a point. This one went too far. But, other than that, and them cheese grating your child's leg off, that was a little bit gruesome as well, while the kid was still alive. It was better written than Splattersaurus was. First off. It was suitably gruesome.
Yeah.
And it was a good example of the genre. I think you'd enjoy it more than I did. It was a very rough read for me. I think you'd enjoy it. Heading home, where have you been, Eno? Have you been away from work? Or have you been on holiday? Eno doesn't take holidays. That's a silly question.
No, because he just can't take his phone off from them.
Sounds a bit like me, that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I might as well just move sideways into Splatterpunk with my worst read of the month, Hannah.
Go on.
Which was Psychic Teenage Bloodbath 2. I did not get on with this book.
Sad. Because the first one was just mental.
Well, the thing is, right, this book is more mental, right? But the other book waited till about the 60% mark before it got to the top and just went, fuck it, and just went for everything. Sexual assault by a corpse in a lift in a hospital? Fine, apparently. This started that stuff on, like, page 4. And didn't let up all the way along. Which, again, is fine, but most of it happens in, like, a dream realm after they've both died.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel... It was lacking the connective tissue that the first one had. So it felt like set piece to set piece to set piece with a lot less reasons to be invested in the characters. Which I know isn't the point of Splatterpunk. I get that. But the narrative was just so non-existent that it just felt gratuitous. Which, again, is the point of Splatterpunk. I get that. Splatterpunk's not my thing. Body horror is not my thing. Which we've established before.
Yes, Kat.
So, I'm on the wrong screen, so I can't see what Kat's saying.
Kat says, essay by a corpse? And then also before that, people get holidays? And bless you, Eno.
Oh, yeah, I upset Kat last time on a live when I mentioned how many holidays I get a year. She's not happy with me. You can do my job if you want. 4 days with the kids, just us on vacation. Oh no. That does sound like hell, actually, to be fair. I've just realised I've got a fan next to me. You just reminded me, thank you. I've got all the mod cons around me today. But, yeah, Psychic Teenage Bloodbath is worth reading. Number 2 shouldn't have happened, because the first one ended at a point where it kind of had a happy ending.
See, this is the thing. With Splatterpunk, I don't think they should be like a series, because just how...
I think there's certain ways that you can, but I don't think you'll necessarily need the same characters to be carrying over. They could be like a shared universe. Sort of thing,
that would be okay.
Yeah, which tends to be my preference anyway, with stuff. You've seen how I do D&D. That's how I build my settings out. That was also not the worst of it, Kat. There was all sorts, and it was very graphic. Yes. This one involved a full-body insertion into another person, and I don't mean with just little parts.
Oh, did you read Womb?
It wasn't far off.
Oh.
Although, to be fair, I also read a short story collection, which literally did have a lady parts eater man. So, there we go. By Kirsty Logan.
Wait. Can I just say something? because of that, it just reminded me. You know the movie Teeth, where the
I know of it.
woman's got thingy has a Num Nom's teeth.
Num Nom's teeth.
Yeah, it's being made into a musical.
What?
Yeah, it's being made into a musical. I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's
No.
real. It's
no. Before you ask me, no. I am not going to see that.
No, I don't want to see it. I'm a prude, remember?
Well, yeah, that's true. Can't argue with that one, really, can I? How is it possible? I can't remember. I'll be honest. By this point of the book, we'd had the first story, which involved a house that was first made of human teeth, then human hair. We had what I will only call ballistic assault corn, and I said corn then. I didn't say that wrong. You had people looking around for a house to move into, and they started with a house made of mushrooms and ended up with a house made of an iceberg.
Oh, this is that weird one.
Yeah, it was. There was some good. Now I need to say the writing was really good.
Yeah,
like it was creepy, but it was vibes over substance, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. And I do have a bit of an issue with short story collections. So. Yeah, that's something to bear in mind. So I was probably never going to get on particularly well with that one anyway.
Yeah.
But it was certainly, I think, the second worst scoring of the month. I think. I was meant to read some Richard Lehman this month, and then I was going to give it 5 stars to upset people. But I never got round to it. So.
That's not how that goes.
I actually saw him come up in someone else's video the other day. They were doing... Who was it? Can't think who it was. I think I shared it, actually, in on the community tab. And they were doing a tier listing of a number of books. That horror books.
Yeah.
And no, Lehman went right at the bottom. Like, right at the bottom.
I remember that from Kat's video.
Yeah, Kat has ranted a few times about Richard Lehman.
She has. It tickles me.
I have about 1,200 pages of Richard Lehman on my Kindle. I have the full initial series. So let's upset more people. So I'd never read Goosebumps or watched the films or the TV series.
Oh, really? I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was like a fan of them, but they scared me. Milo.
So, let's just get that out there straight away.
1 second, let me just grab Milo while you talk to people.
Okay. Bless him. So I listened to my first Goosebumps book. It was fine. So the interesting thing was in my school we didn't have Goosebumps books. We had Point Horrors, which I don't know if you had them in the US or not. There was Point Horror and there was Point Crime or Point Thriller as well, which were similar sort of short novellas, mainly horrors. I think they did share. I think Stein did write some Point Horrors, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, I think Point Horror was probably a UK thing, actually. I don't think it found its way to the US. So we had them in school and not Goose. Well, no, we did have Goosebumps in school. Ironically enough, I found this out from my ex-wife. You could never get hold of them because her and all her mates had them all the time. Because she's a horror reader, unlike me. So, yeah. But when we come back to this next year, what are we going to do differently?
Not have a fire.
That's a good start. And, we've had... You had a fire. Elaine over at Cobalt Dragon had a flood.
Yep.
So...
It's like the month was just cursed.
It was. Mine was strangely not this month, actually.
How dare.
I know, right? But other than not literally taking it as a attempt to do extreme sports for the month, Noah, what will we do differently next month? And are we going to try and theme it? Because do you know what we haven't done?
What?
Not really, anyway. We didn't. I agree completely with Kat. We were supposed to do a load of video game streaming.
We were.
And obviously, Oh God, the Quarry went well. The Quarry went because that was not the sort of multiplayer game we expected it to be.
No, it wasn't.
And then I did 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened yet.
Yeah.
I do need to finish that.
You
and
do.
I then went and bought a load of games that are horror games to play for the month. I haven't played any of them, which I also did last year.
Oh, there's a theme with that as well.
Yes, I bought loads of games that I have not played. So, I think we'll do that more next year.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. But what else are we going to do? How are we going to... I was going to say jizz it up. That's a bad choice of words.
I'm going to jizz it up with extreme horror, I think.
Now, I just need
That was an experience last time.
I need to point out that did not help your mental health last time.
I was so messed up afterwards. I was like, people enjoy this? This is weird.
Then again, is it because you went from extreme horror to super spicy? Is that what you did?
I did, just to throw things up.
You properly whiplashed yourself because you went from magic to Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I did!
Which... you know, is a choice.
It was an experience.
And going through all that again for September.
Oh no, I forgot.
I haven't, because you're reading Twilight.
So are you?
No, I'm reading the other one.
That's still Twilight.
Do you know how many pages it is?
More than mine. That's why I made you read that one.
628.
Okay, Morning Glory Milking Farm is a saucy book to do with a human girl, and you call it a minotaur, I say minotaur.
You say it the American way, which is the wrong way. No offense.
Whatever. That's kind of set in a series of books where people fall in love with monsters. That's where Tentacles and Triathlons came in, because that was with the Kraken. That was an experience as well.
I had forgotten that was... What else did you read?
What didn't I read?
Hang on. Are you doing a mixed... Are you doing a mixed October of monster romance and extreme horror?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing for Halloween.
We're going to do a stream though, right?
Sure. We always do a stream on Halloween.
I'm off for Halloween.
I need to make sure I'm off because I need to set days up. That sounds terrible and very popular on here. Which one?
Both.
Oh.
Interestingly, speaking of like dodgy horror and going back to Clown Hunt, that of all my videos, that's had possibly the longest tail on it.
Wow.
Every so often, I'll check it, like my analytics every couple of weeks, and that always just ends up flagging up somewhere as I'm scrolling down. And I don't know why. Like, genuinely baffles me. You okay?
So, yeah, Milo's just behind me. He barked me, scared me.
But what is it? I need you to explain what it is about extreme horror to me that appeals to you. I know I don't think I can say my theory on here because it'll get us in trouble. But you know what my theory is because I actually just blurted it out at you one day with my inability to not say things.
I can't even remember what it is that he said.
I'll type it in the chat, and I'm not going. Not the public chat.
Oh, okay, go on. I need to see this. Let's see what he says. I don't.
God. I can't fucking spell.
That's fine. I'll get it. It's difficult to say what what makes me read extreme horror. I think it's more the messed upness of it, maybe.
Why won't it let me send? There we go. I didn't press the button properly.
Yes, there is that as well. You are correct.
We probably can't say that on here, though, can we?
I will happily say this. I will actually agree with this. I'm going to say it for you. Obviously the messed upness of it, I love. but it's also the facts of, with me being trans, the dislike of my own body and the things that are written in the book. I'm like, yes.
Yes. Lop it off.
Well, just yeet it off your own body. It's all good.
Yeah. Who needs those things?
Not me.
So is it... Okay, so pivot a bit then.
Okay.
When you read a book, how does your brain compute what you're reading?
So we talked about this because you...
Yeah, because I'm not as visual. I don't think I do it the same way.
I don't hear voices.
You don't have a narrator,
I don't have a narrator. I see images.
Which I find fascinating because I have a whole soundscape. Like, genuinely, I was thinking about this today.
It weirds me out that people... Like, there's noise there. Do you know what I mean?
So much noise. To be fair, I have a constant internal monologue anyway.
I don't. I think it's weird that people hear voices in their head.
So when I make comments in work,
yeah,
quite often in the side of my head there's someone going, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that," but it's a physical voice in my head going, "What are you doing? Be nice."
No,
and then the other side, literally the angel and devil on the shoulders. That is me in everyday life anyway.
No, mine's
but just in reading.
Everything for me is everyday life for me is purely visual. So I'll it'll be weird because like I'll think of something and it'll be like an image in my mind and then I'll go blah 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 blah.
Is it all yellow? Sorry.
You know, this is the thing though with being colorblind because I never used to be. It used to be really vibrant, and what I have noticed the past like few months is that I can't remember what certain colors look like anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess in a way.
Have you considered electrocuting yourself to make it better?
I don't think that will work.
I'm a bit like I do see the pictures as well, but my brain fixates on the non-visual things, so smell and sound in particular, and feel. So, but again, which you have not read it, but if you go to something like Wheel of Time, which is so deeply descriptive in reactions and body image, it's very different.
Yeah.
I don't need electricity to shock people, do I, baby boy?
No. No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No.
But
and understandable, Kat, when they do things that defy physics, because when you imagine it, or when you have the imagery in your head, it's kind of like a what? How does that work? Moment, but it's just there, stuck in your mind afterwards.
So, right. When something doesn't fit the rules of the world, how does that work for you in a story?
In what way?
So, hard to explain because you've not read much fantasy.
So, so Feybound, when they're riding on the giant cats, I can imagine that because of horses. Easily. Right? But it's something that I can't imagine and they're trying to explain it to me. My mind can't, doesn't imagine it as well as it's written, so I'll be like, the fuck am I reading? And my mind will...
a bit with fantasy, then.
Like, my mind will try to jumble it together like a puzzle piece, and the imagery just... Yeah, the imagery is just like... They're not... Yeah. It's not a full picture, it's like there's random parts missing, and I'm like, well, okay.
Is there any horror you want to read more of? Any author, particularly, or any type of horror, other than... We'll ignore extreme horror.
I wouldn't mind seeing if Kiri McCauley's written more gothic horror, because I really did like All the Dead Lie Down.
Okay.
Definitely want to get more into the gothic horror sort of thing. I don't think I'm ever going to touch Dark Academia because of Atlas 6.
That's not horror, though.
No, but I like some Dark Academias. Some of them are coming out with like more of a horror twist at the moment.
There's a lot of dark academia, well, dark romance / academia out there. Haunting of Adeline, I believe, is one of them.
I'm never touching that.
It's only 700 pages and part of a duology. Don't know what you mean.
No.
It's meant to be very good.
No.
My daughter asked if she could read that the other day.
No.
That was my exact reaction.
No.
It was available in the YA section on the library. That's a discussion we're going to have at some point about YA. So, a book that I read, because I did have a couple of gothic horrors this month. Don't think that really classes as a... So, Leech.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you've listened to the first chapter.
I've listened to some of it. I've listened to some of it. I need to listen to the rest of it.
I know Kat has. That book is technically sci-fi gothic horror, which doesn't quite fit. When it's done right. Coven was amazing. Freak was just long. Hey, oh, nice. I actually do have, just moving sideways a bit, I do have Atlas 6's 2 follow-ups.
Yeah.
I just haven't got to them yet. But I did listen to the audio book, which I think helped, to be fair. So I did have a couple of gothic horrors this month. So Leech, which I recommend, but you've got to go in expecting something that's going to leave you disorientated.
Yeah.
Because it's... The easiest way I can describe it is it's almost like the amnesia trope. So the character you don't really know the world or anything that's going on.
Right.
So when you learn something about the character, you automatically learn something about the world it links in. Or if you learn something about the world, it informs the character. So it all builds and spreads out.
Right, okay.
It, which, in a way that I've not seen another book do before. And that actually does seem to be a bit of a genuine consensus online as well, that there's not many books out there like this. It has some body horror aspects, which you'll appreciate. It's beautifully written. It does have that sort of very dark, foreboding atmosphere all the way around, even though it's almost like a... How can you even describe the setting? It's like if the medieval times were trying to use technology from now that had broken down hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
So it's like everything's regressed, so they're trying to figure out how to recycle stuff and make it use. So you've got these people who are being held together by like bits of plastic tubing and stuff that's been recycled, and they only have these specialists to help them. It is horrific, and it does have some interesting scenes of especially sexual abuse. Not scenes, but spoken about or suggested.
Right.
Which does seem to appear in a lot of gothic horror, I've noticed. Actually. Or just all the ones I've read, anyway.
All the ones you've read, because it's not really in the ones I've read.
Although it's more insinuated than... Well, just abuse in general, actually.
Yeah.
But I think you'd struggle with Leech.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think you'd get very lost in it very quickly.
Horribly.
But I think it's a book I wish I'd made notes on. I actually wish I'd made notes and highlighted as I read it. And I think I'm going to buy the physical book and reread it this year. I think I'm going to read it twice in a year, which isn't like me. But the other gothic horror that I read, which I think you would stomach this better than the author's other book, which I would advise you not to read, is Spirit Bears Its Teeth. Which is Andrew Joseph White. Which... Is it nearby? I don't know where I've put it in my house. Oh, there it is. Alexa, light white. We'll put the light back in a minute. So, I mean, it's a gorgeous cover, first of all.
I don't like the cover.
Well, what colour do you see?
Yellow and blue.
Right, well, it's purple and black. So, straight away, with gold and silver foiling on it. So, the other cover is not as nice. Alexa, light red. Alexa, light red. This is a gothic horror. Set in 1880s-ish in England.
Oh, okay.
So, proper Victoriana times. It is inspired by the way Victorian society dealt with people who were other. Translation, not white, male privileged. So it is a little bit men-hating, which I can understand for the time because
Mm-hmm.
of the way that society was geared. If you ignore Queen Victoria herself, it was very much using science to enforce the gender roles, which
Right.
is what this talks about a fair bit. And you're following a main character who's transgender, called Silas, and they want to be cut. They've got violet eyes, hence why the color scheme of the book's purple. And this is meant to be a sign of being able to see and interact with the spirit world. It started about 50 years earlier, so it's prompted this like explosion of like a secret, well, a not so secret organization. I think they're called the Speakers. And basically, Silas wants to get their speaker seal so that
Yeah.
they can go off and earn money from this. But the problem is, in a biological sense to everybody else, Silas is not a man. So you do have the dead naming going on and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also autistic.
Mm.
So we have a couple of problems here that are going to be seen with Victorian society. It's not as bad as it sounds.
Okay.
I can see your face going, oh no.
Yeah.
But what you have is tries to sneak in dressed as somebody else and get the speaker seal because you literally branded on you, and then go off into the world and run away and earn the living. Gets caught, as you would expect, and gets sent to, and this is the wording, the exact wording. I can't remember the name of the school, so we'll call it Bob's Sanitarium and Finishing School. Both for girls specifically. And what you have is a number of girls who have been sent there because they have veil sickness, because they are women and therefore too fragile. Hey Dan,
Hey,
to
Dan.
deal with the rigors of dealing with the spirit world because of their inferior constitution, and it's using accepted scientific stuff at the time to correct their behavior to make them into the perfect wives. This is less dark than the previous book that he wrote.
Oh my god!
Clear.
I want to read this book.
Yeah,
this is fucked.
I think you'll like this. I will spoil one scene in here.
Okay.
So there's the headmaster of the school, and then there's like the I don't want to, she's not the headmistress, but she's the wife of the headmaster, and she sort of oversees most of the lessons.
Right.
I think she's called Mrs. Foster
Mm-hmm.
or Forrester, and she also has the lavender eyes, but there's something wrong with them. They've faded. They've got like a blighted, I think they call it a blighted tinge to them at the edges. And she's been that indoctrinated that what they're doing with it is they're putting splintered glass. She's putting in her own shoes splintered glass every day to walk on, and they get doctors to come in and thingy her to remind her of her place. And she's been that indoctrinated because this is basically it's conversion therapy, right? Early day conversion therapy. So pain to punish the misdemeanors, and and then you praise the behaviors that you want to get. Yeah, but she's the one teaching these young girls, so she's been gaslit.
Yeah.
Then she's going through basically self-abuse and torture, and then she's putting this onto other people, and then some of the girls just randomly go missing because they're technically they've been picked up by their suitors. They haven't. Some have, but not all of them. Then you've also got the idea of the dowries that used to be paid for arranged marriages. Some of these girls are like 14 and pregnant. There is a C-section in this in a bathtub.
Ah!
Using not medical implements, because one of the girls was that determined to show how insane they were, so they couldn't be married off, and they were pregnant because of assault, which also comes into this. They went into the bathroom and cut themselves open to try and cut the baby out. And then the main character, who has some surgical training from the brother, goes in to do it properly. It's very dark. It's very gruesome. I like the way, though, because it's an autistic main character, which is a character you don't really see very often as a lead.
Yeah.
Right? And what I found interesting, I didn't I prefer Hell Followed With Us. I need to say this first, right? Because I could understand the character more. And also, the first 7 pages of that book made me hate everybody else in the world more than this did. And there's no reason for this not to have done, because what happens in this book to Silas and multiple other people is horrendous, like properly horrendous. But what you have is, because you're seeing the eyes through this autistic character, you've got this weird imbalance of tension going on. Because what you'd see is in a normal character, the normal everyday like social situations or reading the room or basic stuff has such a heightened level of tension all the way through. Whereas when you have the high moments of tension, falling back into the coping mechanisms and the sort of more scientific upbringing, so the higher moments of tension don't feel as tense as they would in other ones. So it's this weird, it's almost a far more consistent level regardless of what's going on. And it's kind of inverted. It's fascinating. Must by author for me now.
Yeah.
Like, I've read 2 books, and the third one's out in September. I think it's called Compound Fracture, which that one I've read a bit of. That is going to be a trip. Also worth noting, this is YA as well. This falls under YA. This is published by Peachtree Teen in America. Does come with the content warnings. Very, very clear with the content warnings.
That's good.
Even on Goodreads, the first review you see is the authors going, content warnings. Read this. This stuff is in here. Didn't disturb me as much as Hell Followed With Us did, which is one I would not advise you to read.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching that book.
Even though I think it is, the more I think about that book, the more I think that's probably my favourite book of all time.
Yeah.
Past the Discworld books.
It's.
But I want you to read that.
Yeah, no, I'll read it.
I think it's on Buy One Get One half price in Waterstones at the moment.
See?
No, it doesn't sound like YA. That's the thing. So when I read Hell Followed With Us, in the first 7 pages, you're following, again, it's another transgender character called Benji.
Yeah.
In the first 7 pages, he is picking the bits of his father's brain off his face as he's been shot in the head while trying to escape the church. Who's the head of the church is Benji's mum, who refuses to see Benji as a boy, which is also established in those first 7 pages. They have injected him with basically a genetic coding so he can control the mutations of the super weapon that the church has unleashed on the world. And you then have the misgendering. You have like these weird muscle monsters at the beginning. It's 7 pages. I put it down because I was that angry. It took me 9 hours to record my review of it because I was getting that wound up talking about it. I think I know we've mentioned it briefly. This does beg the question to do with what should YA be?
Yeah.
Because it used to be split.
Yeah.
Over in the UK. It used to go teen and YA. It'll be different in America because of the way the school system works. You could probably let a 16-year-old read this. That'd be the lowest age.
I wouldn't.
It depends on the 16-year-old, and most wouldn't read it. The issue you have with YA is it's a marketing ploy. So it's, and generally speaking, someone mentioned it the other day, you always have a young protagonist in a YA thing. Protagonist in there 16. That's one of the key things. And also there's a page length as well. There is a limit to page length.
Yeah, because Don't Die That Other Dead Lie Down, the main character is nearly 18.
Yeah, they'll rarely be over 18, 20 at a push.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised you don't see Fourth Wing more often in the YA section in the UK. In fact, no page length, that's why it doesn't make it. Very rarely YA goes over 400 pages.
Bizarre.
There is. It's not an official guideline, but there is a guideline for page and word count by age brackets.
But they put stuff in about a person picking their father's brain off their face.
Yep. After seeing their head being blown off by a priest.
No.
By a priest.
Call your dad, you're in a cult.
Yes. I mean, it's an evangelical church. So
yeah.
Yes. And let's be honest, this church did kill about 8 billion people with their bioweapon that they unleashed before the start of this. And you literally have which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there is a trans allegory here with Benji, because there's fighting with the idea of the self-hate of the body, but body is literally changing because of this bioweapon infected. So bits of them are naturally rotting off throughout it. So you've got like the cheek coming off and just the bone and the tongue inside. Which, actually, that's just reminded me of the book I'm reading now. Actually. Something that they do as a punishment to people in the book that I'm reading now.
Oh no.
Is they put like a sieve over someone's mouth and they put sharded glass in it and rub it through the sieve into the mouths and force them to chew it so it pulps their own tongue and then spit it out. That one is not a YA. That's the one with the mechanical horse that I'm currently reading in the Ghost Fog.
Oh. I mean, wait, so much has happened in such a short amount of time.
I'm reading some interesting books this
you're reading the messed up books. What's going on?
I am. I mean, to be fair, you have seen how my stats skew, right?
That's true.
Just in general, dark is my biggest thing.
Yeah,
especially this year.
Dan, I completely agree. That's such a bizarre way to do it. Like, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, literally, it's.
I know, right, Kat?
No, there's a difference with because it's a very Splatterpunk is quite consistent all the way through. It's going and going, and it becomes laborious to read. But also, there's certain things in Splatterpunk that I don't really like reading about because you quite often have the very, very graphic sexual assault in there because it's designed to push it, or the extreme horror side of it anyway. So I don't like reading about that. Fair. If it's going to be in a book and it's implicit, I can cope with that. But it tends to be quite gratuitous by nature. So it's the context where it throws me. I don't like the context in Splatterpunk because it's just there to shock more than anything else. Whereas in these other books, it's an actual social commentary in some ways. The next one is called Compound Fracture, which I do have on pre-order.
Ooh.
Which is set in somewhere in buttfuck America. I think it's in Virginia actually, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Right, let's have a look. Also, it's worth noting that Spirit Falls With Us has an average score of like 4.7 on Goodreads. It doesn't have anything under a 3-star rating on there. This is also a YA.
Go on.
On the night Miles Abernathy's 16-year-old socialist and proud West Virginian comes out as trans to his parents, he sneaks off to a party carrying evidence that may finally turn the tide of the blood feud plaguing Twist Creek. Photos that prove the county's Sheriff Davis was responsible for the so-called accident that injured his dad, killed others, and crushed their grassroots efforts to unseat him. The feud began 100 years ago when Miles' great-great-grandfather, Saint Abernathy, incited a miners' rebellion that ended with public executions at the hand of law enforcement. Now Miles becomes the latest victim of the sheriff's son, and his friends sniff out the evidence following him through the woods and beat him nearly to death. In the hospital, the ghost of a soot-covered man hovers over Miles' bedside while Sheriff Davis threatens Miles into silence. But when he accidentally kills one of the boys who hurt him, he learns of the other folks in Twist Creek who want out from under the sheriff's heel. To free their families from the cycle of cruelty, they're willing to put everything on the line. Now.
Can you please say Twist Creek again?
Twist Creek.
You said it so cutely just before.
Okay, so I'm going to read the content warnings from the author that is on the top of the Goodreads page.
Okay. This is what you're reading next.
I'll be reading it when it comes out, yeah.
Okay.
Compound Fracture is about Appalachian history and blood feuds. While it isn't as gory as my other work, there are still topics that may be difficult for some readers. Graphic violence with a focus on politically motivated and cyclical feud violence involving law enforcement and/or children. Queerphobia and transphobia, dead naming, misgendering, family conflict regarding trans identity, resolved, Internalized queerphobia for a character on the aromantic spectrum also resolved.
I have a question. What is aromantic?
Jesus, I did look this up recently. It's that's the one that's not interested in romantic love, just physical affection, I think, if I remember correctly. Where because you've got aromantic and you've got asexual.
Yeah.
They're like two sides of the same coin, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
I will double check that in a minute in case I've got it wrong, though. Opioid dependency and its effects on family. Main characters use opioids after surgery and undergo withdrawal after quitting without medical supervision. Physical force and emotional manipulation by intimate partner. Here's one that will make Cat really happy. Animal harm. Butchering deer off page. Revenge killing of a dog. Discussions of ableism, including internalized ableism, brief mention of disfigure Mizia. Don't know what that is. And vomiting warning. There's also a dog called Lady who is on the front cover, but they make a point to say that the dog is fine.
That's good. That's good. That pleases me.
Yeah, so that is the content warnings for that one. That is their third YA.
That's not YA.
It does a little bit. No, that's YA. Just like the other ones are. My question is, if you're going to write an adult horror, what does that look like as this author?
Yeah.
Which we will find out next year, because they are doing a full adult one.
It's going to be so messed up.
Yeah. But I think Spirit Bears His Teeth, I think you will like.
Yeah.
I think there's points in it where you'll go, nope. But I think overall you'll like it, because it is a gothic horror as well.
Yeah.
So, and you like your gothic horror more than I do.
I do.
You do. We have very different horror tastes, to be fair.
We do, which is something that I like about us.
Because I like my more folky horror, which I'm actually.
I'm so sorry, your camera froze then, so I don't know what you said or did, but it was the best image ever.
Oh, great. Always is when it freezes. I've not read much of my normal type of horror this month, actually.
You've not?
Thinking about, have I read anything for The Creeper? That's folklore-ish, although I don't like the ending of it.
The ending was mental, right?
I don't like the fact that it wasn't a supernatural ending.
Yeah, no, same. I wanted it to be. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. How was or is your night out?
Yes.
Are you home safe? Did you dance on the tables? Tell me you danced on the tables. And there's picture evidence. What was I saying now? Yeah.
The Creeper. I wanted it to be supernatural. When it wasn't, I was just like...
Yeah. Have you read The Watchers yet? You've not, have you?
I've not, no, but I do have it on my shelf.
So the follow-up to that is out in October.
Oh, there's a follow-up?
Yes, I did. We discussed this. We had a full conversation about this, and I sent you the link. You forgot. It's fine.
I did.
There's a follow-up out in, I think it's October, which I would like to buddy read with you.
I'm down. Because I do like AM Shine stuff, so...
Yes. I listened to it.
I watched it.
You watched it?
The movie for The Watchers.
I'm not talking about The Watchers. I'm talking about Thingy. The other one. The one that you've read.
Oh, Creeper.
Yeah, that one. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't think this movie. The Watchers movie is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and someone else said they didn't like it. I can't think who it was.
I think it depends on what you're kind of expecting from it.
Yeah, but you know what my biggest issue was? And I know you told me it wasn't related. But the cover for the two books, when you look at them, are just
the same thing.
Covers,
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which I didn't clock originally until you said it.
No. And it's like, these have to be related, and they're just so not on any level, which I found really disappointing, because I was sort of hoping for a follow-up. Now, we're getting a follow-up anyway.
Yeah.
But that was good. It was decently narrated. The narrator is someone that I'll be listening to again quite soon, because I picked up a vampire-y thing, because of course I have. Oh god, what's it called? Empire of the Damned, I think it is. J. Christoph.
Mm.
And it's the same narrator. So that's going to be fun. God knows when I'm listening to that one.
Yeah.
And we haven't spoken about any T. Kingfisher yet.
Yes.
Because you like Kingfisher.
I do. I do like the style of writing that she does, yeah.
I am curious how you will find House of Good Bones.
I don't have that one.
I do.
I think I read the blurb and I didn't feel it for once.
It's a haunted house story.
Yeah.
Which is great. We like a good haunted house story.
Yeah.
And I had 2, 3 this month, actually. 3, because the Goosebumps one was haunted house.
Yeah.
The thing is, tonally, it's like a sitcom. You have the snarky main character, and you have their asides all the way through. And you have like this romantic interest as well, which just goes horribly wrong. But towards the end of the book, the tone flips. First of all, I love the fact she calls roses murder bushes. Now, to be fair, that is in the author notes. That's what the author calls them. Not
I like that
in the
too.
actual book. That's what got her to write the book. Her keep cutting her fingers on thorns. Which, on a side point, of stupid things to do, right?
Oh no.
For those of you that don't know, we work in retail.
No!
Which means we have to sell cheap shit to people.
Yeah.
We got some fake flowers in this week.
Yeah.
And they put thorns on them. Nobody has roses for the thorns. If you've got plastic roses, don't leave the thorns on them. Just have the flower head. I discovered this when I gripped them to take them out of the box and swore profusely and flung them into a table in annoyance. Proper sharp plastic stabby bits. Why? Honestly. But yeah, it's well written. It feels tonally off, and then it hits the... Because you've got a character who's an etymologist, so they're very scientifically thinking all the way through.
Hey, Witchy, how you doing?
Hey, Witchy. Thought to get enemies to stab themselves. Well, I was the enemy of work that day, apparently. And yeah, it's a good introduction to horror. It's well written.
Yeah.
My least favourite Kingfisher book. Now, to be fair, that's a high bar. I would like to know your thoughts on it, though.
I'll read it.
Have you read Twisted... Is it Twisted Ones?
No, it's behind me.
It's behind you. I would like to read that when you read it.
Okay.
On a side point. Maybe that could be an October thing, actually. But I want you to tell me more about... Because I've spoken for ages now. I want you to tell me more about your last book that you read.
All the Dead Lie Down.
So we go into the disaster you had with it beforehand? The stress and everything. It was that one that didn't turn up, right?
No, that was Ghost Station. That was a month late.
And what happened with my pre-order?
Yours turned up a month early.
Yes.
And it angered me.
Mine came 2 weeks before release date because Waterstones did a Waterstones. Which I think it might be I might just buy from Waterstones now for stuff that's... I think what they do, if it comes out in a month, they send it out at the start of the month. I think that's what they do with it. So...
No,
yeah,
because I pre-ordered mine.
You did. And I'm stood there going, mine's come early, and you're there going, mine's not.
Yeah, I have to chase it myself.
Bless. But, so... What, The Dead Lie Down?
Yes.
You were very excited for that in general, weren't you?
Yeah, I saw the blurb, and then I loved the cover of the book.
I remember the cover of the book.
It's got a lady with like hair in a plait, kind of like floating around with like vines and stuff going through it.
Oh, right, okay.
Kind of like weaved into it.
I'm going to look at it in a... Why does Goodreads run so slowly? Just on a... on a side
I don't know. I don't know.
It's terribly optimized. But are you're going to read horror in you reading Splatosaurus Rex for Halloween?
Yes.
There we go. We've all heard it here because he's been avoiding saying yes to that. And you're reading it on a live stream, yeah?
Yeah.
There we go. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see if there's another plot twist in it that you completely miss. I like the last one. It's like, that came out of nowhere. No, it didn't. What do you mean? Well, at this point, it's like, oh yeah. Bless. But what is there any horror you want to read more of though, or any author you want to read more of specifically? We'll ignore Stephen King because that's a bit of a grey area. That's part of the whole horror genre.
That is tough. You know what? Nothing's apart from the only horror book that I want to read is David Wellington, the second book of Paradise, one that comes out in November. That's one that I'm mainly looking forward to. But apart from that, nothing's really like called out at me.
You really liked Paradise, Rob.
I love Paradise. Like every now and then, like I'll just remember like a certain scene every now and then, and I'm like, that was mental. It was messed up, and I loved it to bits.
I'm really annoyed, Kat, because I have read a Dean Koontz book, and I still cannot figure out what the hell the book was, and it's bugging me because there's that many of them that I just can't find it. And I thought I found it the other day, and I was looking at it going, "This isn't what I read," because a lot of the covers are actually quite similar. Because it's kind of like mass market, a lot of it now into the Koontz books. But how's how's not Trolls? The other one, was it Trolls?
I've got Trolls still to read and Hex.
Hex
is baffling me.
Hex is baffling you. Why is Hex baffling you?
Because the whole intro of the book makes no sense, and I think what you said was that it was
It was originally Norwegian.
Yeah, so I think it's just translated really badly because it goes over my head.
I find that quite interesting because of something that Jaleesa was saying in Discord about the book that she's just read. And it was translated from Korean to English, and she thinks it's lost something in the translation somewhere.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's only a short read, whatever it was she's read, but it's dived from it. It sounds like, oh, it's really good. It's fast paced. This. And actually, it dropped to a 2 to a 2.5 stars. Like 2 hours later, it's like, whoa, that's
quite a drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat asks, what was it about? She might know.
I don't know. It was honestly, it must be 15 years. It's probably 20 years ago that I read it. And it had a grey cover with red writing, which does not narrow it down at all with Dean Koontz. At all. I say grey, it was grey and white cover, I think. I can't remember. I don't even think it was a horror. I think it was a crime book. But I need to read some more Anya Allborn. I did have one to read this month. So she's the one who wrote
Patricia! Wait. Patricia.
Oh, I meant to add that to my Goodreads. Not Patricia.
Wait.
The other one.
I can't see anything in the dark.
Can I? I can't copy and paste. Grr.
I need to...
Let's keep our bodies. I remember you speaking about that the other day.
Wait, I'm turning my light on to see if I can find a pencil.
I've got
Do I have any paper? Yeah. I want to write these down. What people are saying. Where's my pad? Milo, do you know where my pad is?
Probably at it.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, it's going to be very bright for a second.
Have I heard of E.M. Roy? Is that a debut novel as well? The Let the Woods Keep Our Bodies. It could be. To be fair, actually, the UK covers and American covers do tend to be quite different.
Who's Patricia?
What?
Patricia Wants to Cuddle.
Patricia Wants to Cuddle by Samantha Allen. I know I picked up a few recommendations the other day from someone. Can't think who it is. When they were doing their tier listing of horror books.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have. That's not saved stuff in order. Why have you not saved stuff in order? Goodreads. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. That looks a bit more like it. Yeah, there was quite a few Junji Ito in there, actually.
Love.
Have you read, or have I just seen this in random places, Homunculus?
I have not.
Okay. I know it's a manga. I must have just
I've
seen it somewhere.
heard / seen it around.
It's meant to be very, very good. So I might hit some horror manga as well. I have a significant lack of what's the word I'm after? You know what? You've got that horror comic as well.
I do.
So that's something else you need to read at some point.
That is very, very true.
So many options. I don't have all my horrors on my Kindle.
I swear, no, I like I have the Kindle. I read some things off there, but I don't know. I love physical books.
I love physical books as well. I always get a bit squiffy with horror.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite hit and miss with it. I like good folk horror, so I really like Anya Elborn, we've already mentioned. Seed is exceptional. Very slow burn, but it's got that sort of deep south, sort of supernatural, and doesn't... 2 books down, no happy endings, just to be clear as well.
Oh.
Which always... I kind of like that in a horror book.
Yes, because it's a horror, you know?
Yeah. And when it looked like there's going to be a happy ending, it definitely wasn't. As she was driven back to the murder house.
That's why I read Lovecraft. Either go insane or the dead.
Speaking of Lovecraft, that's just reminded me. Alan and Big Hard Books and Classics, and Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads do a Cthulhu-thon sort of thing at Christmas. Which we are invited to take part in.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. Well, I am, so you're as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it said... we were talking about it on Elaine's live chat the other day.
I was working, wasn't I? Or was I out?
I think you were out, actually. And it was... we talked about it and said, oh, you should join in. Because I was saying I've not really read a huge amount of Lovecraft yet.
Oof, Lovecraft.
Even though I have the whole Necronomicon on my thing. Physical books are not easy to keep track of if you store them like mine.
Yeah, your way of having books on the shelf... mine are all... my shelves are alphabetical.
Now, do you want to use the correct word for that sentence?
No.
Alphabetized.
Alphabeticalized.
No, alphabetized. You're adding extra letters. Alpha. Yes, I am. No, alphabeticized.
Alphabeticized.
There we go. See, you can do it.
Alphabeticized my shelves, author-wise.
So...
Not like I can remember, because I think, oh, I want to read this book. Who's it by? And then I'm like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
So I'm going to read the shelf next to me. Just one shelf.
Okay.
I'm just going to go the first letter of the surname.
This is going to annoy me.
L, J, N,
Stop.
L,
No.
K,
No.
K,
No. No.
W,
Stop.
H.
What is your issue?
A, N. I can't actually see. That doesn't have the author name on the side of it. D, B, M, L, L, F, B, D, R.
This is painful.
And on top, it's got an M and a G as well. But they're the ones I got today that I've just done a video of.
1 second. Love Lovecraft. Yes, Witchy. I read children Cthulhu books for my toddler. I love that, and I'm also glad that he loves them.
I want a Cthulhu plushie. I know you've got one.
I've
have
not one.
It yet.
No, it's mine. Jenny got it me.
That's fine. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Yeah, I mean... No, this is a different one. So, Elaine did the one with me, then she did one with Greg and Alan. I didn't ask them any questions either, so it's not just me. And in fact, she did one. The one last night, she didn't get to her questions either.
Oh, bless her.
So, no, I'll organise my bookshelves when I actually get proper bookshelves. Or no, rephrase that. When I replace my bookshelves, because I have a couple of issues. So, like little bookshelves next to me, they're old format, I suppose is where you'd call them. I've had them for years, so they don't have the holes in all the right places. Stop it, Noah. And so the heights of the books, most normal paperbacks don't fit. They're too big. So I've had to be creative with that. It doesn't work, which makes me. It does frustrate me a little bit, but we've been taken to IKEA at some point.
Yeah,
I believe, by our assistant manager. So I've told him he's going to put bookcases in his car. He doesn't know how many yet.
Oof.
Because I need a few. And then you can have my bookcase. You can have my big bookcase.
Yeah.
For $5.
Yeah.
There we go. That means I'll have made a profit on it. Because it cost me less than that when I bought it.
Very naughty.
Yeah. Keep hearing weird vibrating noises. And it's not my phone. And no, it's nothing like that. I'm not like you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can we just talk about how he's talking about the size and the holes? Now he's like vibrations. Oh.
You're the one with the dirty mind.
That
came perfectly
no,
clear before.
I am a prude.
I was talking about rolling the words around your mouth, and you took that totally the wrong way.
No, I didn't. No, that's not true. Stop changing how you've said things to make me look like it, like naughty when it's you. I'm the prude. You're the naughty one. I don't know why people believe this.
All the customers in work think I am adorable. Someone's even writing to head office.
Why don't I get stuff like that?
Because you're not me. And also I sit there and go, you can win £100 if you do this. What am I hiding? I don't hide anything. I've no issue doing embarrassing stuff. Trust me, I am very, very loud. Really, Noah. Actually, was that the comment that broke you today? It wouldn't be educational if it was behind closed doors. You'd forgot that one, hadn't you? Bless him. He's been very traumatized today. Today was my 6th day in a row. And 5 of those were 5 o'clock starts in the morning. So I was running on exhaustion today. And poor Noah had to deal with it. It's alright. There is a secret recording which Noah deleted of a book reading.
Oh my god, that book reading, literally.
And
people... That could have been on... Ooh.
I mean,
It was very... It was like, woo!
It was a tingler, literally. It was a tingle reading. That's what they call. That's what he calls them. They're called tinglers. Which, here we go. This gives me my segue.
Wait, you can't do that and be like, this is my segue.
Into Bury Your Gaze. Short tingle. Book of the year.
It's all over Waterstones. It's actually in Waterstones.
Yeah, genuine. So,
he should have. He should have, Kat. It would have gone down very well.
It's not just the reading. It's not me that has an OnlyFans. So.
It's not me.
That's not what your Discord thinks.
That's because of you.
Hobbit Feet. Hobbitfeet.com.
Ew, I don't have Hobbit feet.
So, you might not know this because you don't follow the awards, really, do you?
No.
But there's that's what the books are called. I'm not making this up. You can look. In fact, go and look up Chuck Tingle's website. Just reading that website is a trip. In fact, his latest. Shall we talk? I'll find his latest book while it's in my head, because I had an email about it today.
Ooh.
But I'm going to have an email about it because I follow him. God, what am I looking for? Right, I'm getting distracted. So, Camp Damascus, which was his book last year.
Yeah.
was nominated for the Stoker Awards, which is one of the horror, that Bram Stoker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. It was shortlisted for that, one of the 6 options for winner of that. It was that well received, and this is better. And why it's better is because of how timely what its subject matter is. AI, CGI, and actors' image and voice rights. Which, if people are not aware of this right now,
I know. Yeah,
you know about the SAG-AFTRA strike that's just started.
Oh, I didn't know about the strike that started.
Yeah, there's another strike, so there's a load of struck films and video games and stuff again to not support at the moment. Or not, as like content creators and stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing with this is there was a strike last year over paying conditions.
Right.
And the union, after agreeing a deal to get the people back to work, then signed away some agreements to voice rights and image rights of their members without their members' permission. So they're now striking again. So what Bury Your Gaze does, first of all, the title is a reference to the Hollywood tradition of being inclusive and then killing off the inclusive characters.
Yeah.
So in horror movies, it's quite often who's the first person to die is the person of color.
Yes.
And the idea of this is if you have a non-heteronormative character in the title, either they will have trauma and die horrifically, or they'll have the grandstanding great moment and go out in a blaze of glory saving the straight people.
Yeah.
That was they never get the happy ending.
No.
Well, not the end of the movie anyway. So maybe beforehand. Anyway. But it's a reference to that, and you've got this character who's right when he's told that he's got to. The algorithm, our favourite word, says that we don't want a happy ending for the gay people. You need to either make them straight or kill them. So you've got to rewrite your season ending. And he's like, haha, no. And then he starts getting stalked, or it appears to be stalked by characters from his own books.
Oh.
And they're all horror books, and all his horror books are sort of queer coded.
Right.
And at first he thinks it's just people in really good cosplay. That sort of falls apart when a sheep's face splits open, tentacles come out, and it eats a policeman.
I've seen there's a plushie.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good. But it talks about this studio. It's got an actor up for an Academy Award, and the actor is dead, fully dead. So it's an AI-generated likeness of the actor. No, sorry, a CGI likeness of the actor, then powered by AI for the voice and the dialogue and the mannerisms.
Ew.
And the thing is, we're seeing this now.
We are, and it creeps me out because leave the dead dead.
Well, it's not even that, because I can sort of see the argument on, say, you're doing. We'll use Star Wars as the example with Rogue One. And you've got Moff Tarkin, who was played by.
Yes,
Peter
I
Cushing.
forgot. Yeah.
Was it Peter Cushing? No, it wasn't Peter.
No, it's something different.
I can't think who it was. I'm not. I'm just trying to think who it was.
Oh.
And they did a CGI version on, and they used an actor and they CGI'd the details all over it. And I can just about, because they did that with Leah as well, actually. I could just about buy that, but this is full CGI. And there was an example back end of last year that they'd used AI to replicate Marilyn Monroe.
They did, yeah. I saw that.
And I've seen another one.
It was weird.
I've seen a couple this year already. Although it looks like the AI bubble is about to burst. I've seen an expectation that OpenAI is about to hit multi-billion pounds of debt, and the UK government's just pulled AI funding. So that looks like it's going to die in a ditch like NFTs did, which is good. But it talks about like who owns the performance. Is it the actor who does the acting, or the studio who puts the money into the presentation? And then does the studio then have the right to take that voice and that likeness and transpose it elsewhere? So there's that. So there's that ethical dilemma, which image rights belong to the person, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But also the idea of how I thought it was Cushing, because I knew it wasn't going daft. And then it was the guy from Holby City, who whose brother plays Thrawn, ironically enough, in Star Wars now, who played him and then had the CGI overlaid on him. I just can't think of his name. So I've just got distracted. But yeah, it also talks about beyond the image rights. Like, there's the ethical dilemma of algorithms and the danger of algorithms. Because the problem you have is the algorithm will look at everything that's successful. And then if you're only ever going off those, you'll only ever make the same thing, so it stifles creativity. An interesting thing to consider for the book space between that and subscription models, a video that I have still not made yet. But I think is one that needs to be made quite soon, actually, because
I think you should.
I think we're going to see. I think Kindle Unlimited is the thin end of the wedge. I really do. Because what I will say, of all of Amazon's failings, of which there are many, they get the algorithm more right than anybody else. Right? But Amazon was a bookstore. And I still think deep down, there's enough decisions that you see Amazon make where they will go and they will pay for properties that haven't done well because they just like that property themselves. The Expanse was a good example of that. Netflix dropped it after a couple of seasons, and Bezos himself was a massive fan and went, I'll buy it, even though it wasn't profitable, and let them make a load more series.
Yeah.
So there is still I think it's a bizarre case, but I don't think Amazon will be the bad guy in that. But I think we're going to see more sort of algorithmically based decisions by publishers. And then I think we're going to see a splintering of the publishing space like we have with streaming services, where every publisher is going to have its own subscription service for its books online, for ebooks. I think it's a bit harder to do.
Because we already have that with everything else, so...
Yeah, and if you look at it, it started with TV, it went to streaming services. Streaming services are doing what cable used to do. Anyway, by splintering off again, you're going to see it with book services, and we're beginning to see it already. Kindle Unlimited is an example. You also have Kobo Unlimited. You have all these other options as well. At what point does the publisher go, they pay us £5 a month and have access to our full library? Then how does that work? And then everyone pulls everything from like your Kindle Unlimited. And then you've got to pay for all the different subscriptions.
Yeah.
And then you have an even bigger problem that it'll then, the books that are created will become safer when they're pulled up. So you end up with less creative product unless you go into the indie space.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's been spoken about yet. But Tingle does touch on that, and it's like this is the danger. Everything becomes homogenized. We don't want to offend anyone, so we won't put anything offensive in. Which is actually a point that they're making there. It's like, no, you can't put that in because you might offend Julia, 42, who's never had children. That isn't the exact example, but that's just a random one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Bury Your Gaze is amazing. Really, really good. Super quick read. Funny. Girthquake.
When you told me that literally threw me through the loop. I was hysterical.
Yeah, there was more moments like that throughout the book. But it's very good. And it's got a lot of heart as well. It still drives the Chuck Tingle logic of love is real and you are valid. Which is through all of his books, including The Tinglers. Which, just to go back to Dan, actually. So, go on, genuinely, just go on Amazon and type in Chuck Tingle and just look at the covers. He was first nominated for a Nebula Award, I think it was. No, not Nebula. What's the one that Luna's going to?
Oh,
Hugo's.
yeah.
Nominated for a Hugo Award for Space Raptor Butt Invasion. So, there we go. What is his latest book?
I don't know. He's been very vocal lately on Twitter, so something's coming up.
I know for a fact he's had because I've seen him at a load of the cons as well.
There's something's coming.
No, I know for a fact it's already out. Sort by publication date. Oh, do androids dream of electric butts?
Oh no, because it's the Electric Dreams book. It's his take.
So, this is 43 pages of which about 18 of those are going to be a list of his titles, because by God, does he have a lot of books.
Yeah.
Heckard, which is a cracking name, is a bounty hunter tasked with finding and tracking down Androids, also known as apparently non-detectable representations of in-disguise Sasquatches. That's what Android stands for now. These big feet have blended in with human society, and it takes a trained eye to root them out. After a solid tip, Heckard heads to Seattle to interview a potential Bigfoot using the notorious... Well, hang on, I want to see your face when I read this.
Okay.
Let me just... Oh, damn it, I need to make that smaller.
She said.
To me. Interview a potential Bigfoot using the notorious butt vampire test. It all starts as a routine procedure, but it's not long before Heckard finds herself falling for this beautiful opera singer who may or may not be a Sasquatch. Soon enough, Heckard and her target find themselves locked in an erotic game of cat and mouse, culminating in a hardcore lesbian encounter that will change the way Heckard looks at Big Feet forever.
I want this book!
The erotic tale is £2.22. The erotic tale is 4,000 words of sizzling human on possible Bigfoot action. Also, it is available on Audible for £2.63. Who reads that? Georgia Bird. Okay. I don't know who that is.
Wait.
So, you still have some to read, actually. All right, we'll be over into your sprints in a minute.
We will be over in a bit, Kat. We
causing
promise.
chaos over there
all the time.
I have tequila, so definitely.
Yeah.
Which I do have. I do have an anthology of Chuck Tingle somewhere.
Oh, that slayed me.
What? Which? No, that's not it. Where is it? I think I hid it so the kids couldn't see it.
You did hide it.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Because I think Summer asked about it.
What's this? Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do that over reading.
We do.
Because
on
is a
Twitch,
part two
obviously.
to those books.
Oh no.
I've seen people do the readings on here, you know.
Really? Just changed some of the words.
I did not watch the video.
I mean, I want to find.
I'm not quite sure. You had a bad enough time with Bigfoot Pirates Haunt Your Balls.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it was
Milo.
Milo haunts your balls.
No.
Yeah, I think you had a hard enough time with that one.
I can't read it aloud to people. It was like, oh.
I had no issue.
It made my hands just do the T-Rex thing, and I was just like, eh.
I love the reaction at someone point in chat. Was it Jenny? Like, how does he read this without laughing?
For you, yeah?
Yeah. It took a lot longer to read the special version.
The unicorn, though. Wouldn't I got you?
No, do you know what? It wasn't even that. It was the, what were the police called?
Oh.
The Unicorn Butt Police.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were looking for people illegally smuggling chocolate milk.
Yeah, that's where I lost it. And you were so straight-faced, and you stopped. You were like, huh. I was like, there's no reaction. What is happening?
I didn't know what was happening. I still don't know what was happening. I haven't... I did read the second story of the other one. Which... Oh, boy. That... Yeah. That went down a direction of a bisexual relationship involving a triceratops.
I have read...
Don
Juan. Don Juan. I have Unkindle, but I bought the physical for Jenny as a joke.
Okay.
She's not read it.
Okay.
But let me just get it. Okay. So I bought this as Jenny as a joke because I thought it'd be really funny, and I read it, and it was an experience, and it's Don Juan Velociraptor. Then the person who there's another book she wrote called oh no, what is it called? It's really funny. It's Jenny, I read this book and I read it to Katie out loud and we were in stitches. They wrote a book called Triceratops and Bottoms.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Wet Allosaurus. That's another one.
Hang on, is this one where I've sent you down this rabbit hole by accident at some point when we've been looking at books?
No, I sent you a screxhot of a book with a dinosaur and a cargo goat being like, pull my hair, and it's like, I'm trying.
Oh,
and then,
God, yeah.
that's the author. But I've got that book on my Kindle. I read it to Casey out loud because we were like, she was having a bad time, and I was like, let me read you this book. And we were literally just there, like, in stitches, howling. Oh.
There is a surprise. That's a point. Witchy, what was Squeak like?
Oh, you read Squeak! Is that the balloon one?
Squeak. Yes. I know you had Squeak. I can't remember if you'd read it or not. Yeah.
Do you recommend it?
One. There's also the one about doors.
Yeah, I want to read the one with doors.
I'm sure it talks about knotting. Because you get knots in Rudd. Think about it. Not too much, though. You're welcome. There is a lot of books like that, though.
I never knew.
No. But then you didn't know that monster romance was a thing.
Exactly. Monster romance just blew me away. I was like, this is fucked.
I'm sorry. It did what?
Not like that. I haven't read it yet. Saved in the Unhinged for Naughty November. I love that.
I think I'm going to be doing another read what your own challenge from November.
I might need to join you on that because I got a lot of books that I need to read that are on my shelves at the moment.
I think there's a difference in the quantities there.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Milo, leave my foot alone.
He's chewing your feet.
No, he's trying to lick my feet. He's like, feet.
Bless him. But yeah, are we doing Are we doing Don't Die July next year?
Yes, I think that's always going to be a thing.
It's going to be a thing going
yeah.
now. Okay. We were going to do a bingo card this year, but I just couldn't be bothered inventing one.
We'll do it next year.
But we will do one for next year. But yeah, any horror books? There's no horror books coming out really this year, is there now?
Apart from the second book for Paradise Swan in November.
Yep, and the Watchers follow-up, which I'm going to pick up.
Yeah. That's
and then,
really it for me.
And you've got adventure books now this month.
I do. It's August Adventures. I'm excited to start this out.
If we did August Adventures and we did a horror-themed game...
Well, that's what I'm wanting to do. It's what I was going to talk about in my video that I'll post up in the next day or so. I want to do a tabletop RPG one-shot, and I want to get people from the community involved, and we could, like, obviously I'll GM, and we'll have a good time.
Well, we'll have a time.
Yes.
You know what happens when I get involved in stuff?
Yes.
I'm just a rep call of war crimes at this point. Even in a game where I'm not meant to survive. That didn't go according to plan, did it, Noah?
Nope.
You won't survive this one. How did he get out of that?
Seriously.
Oh. We do need to continue that at some point.
We do. I've got everything in folders ready to be used that I've like written down and prepared for, and I've just not gone, hey, let's go do this.
Yeah. We'll get you organised eventually.
One day.
We need a home game first.
We do.
And decide who's running it.
I'm kind of hoping Kieran will run the next one. I don't want to play.
Might be my last Druid game, that one.
Really?
There's a character I want to try out. So, I'm sure nothing will go wrong with a Ranger Monk.
Oh my god.
What?
It's gonna be hell.
Well, you know, you're going to do a character build this month, so live. Could even do one together. That'd be fun. We have a very different way of building characters.
Yeah, you min-max. I just
go
shiny objects.
I don't min-max at all. If I min-max, I'd actually do things. Then again, I have dice curse.
No, I have dice curse.
Not as bad as me.
I rolled ones doing Kernathalis for the first character that died in the first 2 minutes. I might still have that recorded, and I was like, let's do this. Rolled the character, like, on that special video, and we started it, and I went into one room, death. I was like, short video.
I'll be honest, that is one looking at that I will never try.
The one that I think you should try is called 4 Against Darkness. That one is easy, simple, plus you get to draw your little dungeons out and stuff like that, and there's all different supplements and stuff.
Dungeons.
But you know what I mean?
It's the least interesting part of any game is drawing things.
Shut up.
But I am saying that when I have a whole world-building Bible, which just doesn't have drawings in it. So, very different. But, yeah. So that's what Noah's doing next month. I'm doing nothing. In the next month. I don't think. Am I? I can't remember.
You said you're gonna... Yeah, you've done a video on it.
I've done a video. I've got my thingy will go up tomorrow because I have had my box came today.
Yes.
And I'm very excited. Genuinely, I was reading through the stuff on the back and it's like, yes, these are being read this month. I don't know where I'm going to fit them in because of work. They're not getting reviews though. I don't have any reviews in me right now, I don't think. So
fair.
Might have I don't think I mentioned it in the video, but I have been sent some like I don't know. I've recorded the video 5 times and then deleted it and did it again. I have been sent some readings by someone to potentially do. So I might do one of those this month. It depends if I can get the cadence right with it. If not, I'm going to do a first chapter reading off. I love maps. I don't like drawing them. Although, I don't think I've got it saved on the PC. I've got it saved on here? I might have it saved on here. Let's see if... No. Dickhead. Where's my D&D folder? No.
Milo, that stinks.
Nope, that's music. D&D.
Ven does make some very good maps. He's made some for me in the past.
Can I screen share on this?
I don't think it will show it very well because I've got it like cut to us.
If I hit go live, what will that do?
Mess up my layout.
Oh, oopsie. That is the last mark.
They could just see it in the fucking corner.
Can you not drag it down?
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
Oh, do you not see that like me?
No.
Oh, that's
how dare? There we go.
I'll post it on the community tab. Actually, I created an actual map for a world that I made up. I've got a few maps. I've actually still got the dungeon maps that I made. Actually, I need to pay for the subscription again. It's only like £6 a month or £30 a year or something. But yeah, I've got a whole. I like building the whole world. I don't like drawing stuff.
Yeah.
But I mapped out the religions, the governments, about 4,000 years of history. And unfortunately, Noah keeps missing some of these D&D games, so he keeps missing bits because they're all separate adventures.
Yeah.
So the only thing they all know about is that there's purple dragons. And they're probably a bad dragon, but we don't know.
She was lovely.
Yes. How many of you survived that encounter?
1 who ran.
Yeah, technically 2. 1 got turned into a statue.
I got turned into a statue as well.
Yeah, but you were actually dead. You didn't negotiate yours, so you're just dead.
Well, no, I asked for something, and then
you are a legend in the world.
I'm a legend.
You have a whole sort of academy branch named after you.
Yes, Mr. Hoot, because he was an owlkin. Was basically a human owl.
Yeah, I can't remember what I put as your legendary name for it because your names are not remembered correctly. No,
they would change throughout time. It was
because
something to do with thunder.
Yeah, well, you were a storm sorcerer who forgot that you could do things as a storm sorcerer.
Yeah,
how magic works.
Yeah,
and we had
good
Daddy.
Time. Dardy, yeah,
who is now not called that.
Nope.
That's not how he's remembered as the Pirate King Dara Day.
Yes.
So, which John will never find out. But I do need to do some more work on that, actually. So maybe that'll be a live stream at some point. I might do a productivity stream and share that, actually.
That'll be nice.
So, not that I'm ever going to use it, but...
Who knows?
Who knows? But, yeah. Shall we wrap up and go on Bug Cat?
Yeah, let's go Bug Cat.
Yeah.
Ginger Bibliophile, if people would like to go to her channel.
Yeah. This was a completely not planned live as well, by the way.
Yep.
It was a... Shall we just chat for a bit?
Yeah.
So, a little bit disorganised, but I'm also, like... It's a bit hard to balance 3 to 15. A little bit. Same thing happened last year, though.
Yeah, but this one was like...
But at the end of July, I crashed last year, didn't I? So
yeah.
Whereas it'll be the end of August this time round. So, but yeah, thank you for joining us. And thank you for waking up.
Thanks.
and being such a prude throughout.
All the time.
I still haven't figured out what it was that was making that noise. It's actually bugging me because there's literally nothing electronic near me.
Apart from your PC.
Don't say that. Don't want it exploding.
Flames everywhere.
It makes enough dodgy noises as it is. Honestly. But yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we'll speak to everyone. Everyone who wants over to Cat's channel will speak to you over there.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.